Welcome back to the channel, lads. Another weekend is in the books. And you know what we have. We got some rewards for you right now. Some soul coins, some ETH in the bank, 2 limiteds, 3 rares. Check out the pinned comments where you will be able to fast forward to me opening these rewards. I'll leave a comment for you. But first we're going to go through the battle phase of the past weekend. Starting by the lowest scoring teams. Get these flops out of the way first. Cap 220 Super Rare killed by Sean Davies with an unexpected DNP. Lewis Holtby killed my second division Europe Rare with a DNP. I actually bought this guy within the last 2 weeks. Skierbiski's, I like Skierbiski. He's a bit of a cheat code. I have 2 copies of him. I thought I'd get the Holstein offensive stack going with Holtby and Skierbiski. The Como stack not doing the business this time around. Can't tell if they're home or away. Anyway, this was a throwaway side. Ralph Farman was expected to be out. Challenge Europe Rare Pro. This was a decent side. I mean, we don't have many active super rare keepers, so we want to use them in the right places. And yeah, we used our Guilherme Hubert here with our Union stack. And Malakar, the Croatian League forward, who's been hitting some goals recently. I bought him very cheap for some midweek fixture, and he actually scored about 3 goals since in the last month. So yeah, put him into a decent team, and Bart just killing the team by not playing for Union. Matthew Vedder completely killed my Cap 240 Super Rare. It was really painful. Won 29 points off those $200 you get for the 250 points mark. And yeah, just a really bad AA and conceded a penalty. Just got destroyed by the Heerenveen boys. Even though Emmen themselves did quite well. I hope he doesn't get rotated out of the team, because there's been a couple of sloppy performances by him. The other boys bang though. Lerma goes into this Cap 240 team so quite often, so when he scores well, but it doesn't really yield me anything, I'm like, that's Lerma's L15 jacked up a little bit now, a notch. America Rare Pro, we've been actually bashing the America region, a lot of top 10 results. So I've started to really tailor my best cards towards it. Part of the success was Asprilla coming good for Portland Timbers and just getting good game time. Tail end of last season, he was banging in the goals. He got a nasty injury, and he's just back. And yeah, speaking of nasty injuries, Luis Iorrithi, one of my earliest ever purchases on Sorare. He was out for a nasty injury for nearly a year. He came back. He looks like he was back in the mix. But now I'm worried. Because as you see, 2 DNPs there, not even in the squad. It's not easy out there. So yeah, American Rare Pro completely flopping, even though Stuver with the AA conceding 2 goals, but just making 6 saves. It wasn't even the saves that did it. It was 2 goalkeeper smothers for 10 points. That's pretty nice. But yeah, Cap 270 Super Rare, we had one of our biggest cards in Alex Garcia, who has been out with injury. He was back for this game, but he got injured again after 12 minutes. Pretty sad. I think I'm going to sell Wallace. I've had him for about a season and a half, and yeah, he's just not doing it. One of those bad early purchases when I was going for quantity of teams rather than quality of teams and trying to budget, but yeah, not a good purchase. And Lucas Zidane, I want to see those clean sheets again, baby. He's been absolutely doing it with the clean sheets. He was, I should say. But recently the team are just conceding goals from my memory. I think it's the Chani curse. Didn't Chani buy this dude? Look at this run. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, bad game. Boom, 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 bang. And then look at these. 1 clean sheet in the last 6. And what happened here? He concedes 3. Still 5 saves, like decent AA, decent keeper. He was dropped by Rayo Vallecano, so that worried me in terms of his like overall career. Like, you know, if you're gonna drop a keeper in their early 20s, kind of means they're not good enough. But he's doing it in the Serie B, it seems, for now. Anyway, we're getting to some better scores. Still weaving through the shit. All-Star Limited, just very dead, as you can see. One of my least prioritized limited teams. And really sad to see Burke Ozer was rotated in to the side. And I used him for a couple of cap modes over a couple of weeks when his score was just 5. Even after he scored this 25, his score was still 5 for some reason. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but it was basically like using a goalkeeper that didn't cost anything in my cap modes. So I was like, I'm going to clean up with this guy, but he's back on the bench after conceding 7 goals in his 2 appearances. Still under 23 though, and also another under 23 option, but we've loads of them now, thanks to a lot of favorable Asian rotations with the under 23 keepers. Kosi Tani included, of course. 41 points off. Cap 220 is like a real soft spot, I think, for rewards. For me, anyway. I guess I have a lot of players that fill in nicely, so not too far away, even with the DMP keeper. All-Star Rare Pro, this was like one of my last teams, just kind of leftover players thrown in. Sobolev with 3 decisives. You shouldn't have been in that side, mate. Yeah, 2nd Division Europe Limited. We're still not even close to rewards with these teams. Come on, where's the rewards at? 50 points off here with the nice Luthe clean sheet. Sorry, Kaba, by the way, real quick, on some nice form. Let me check these scores out. He's playing for Cardiff City at the tail end of the championship. But take a look at that, fellas. You're welcome. Zion Fleming captained in this side away to Wigan. That was kind of the difference, I guess. And, Benez not starting for Hamburg. Yeah, that was the problem with this side. 35 points off reward. Pink now in Asia, playing in the Chinese Super League, which I love to see. You know, utility over the summer, and probably he'll be getting more goals than the Austrian League. Sad to see this team not get a reward, but it did hit that 250 point threshold to get the $5 from the limited division. Cap 270 limited, usually my most prioritized limited team, and it kind of was, even though the St. Mirren goalkeeper and forward Curtis Main are in the side. These were just the kind of low-cost players to fit in, and they were at home to Kilmarnock, but they just didn't do it. No clean sheet, not a sniff of a goal, maybe a big chance missed, not even for Curtis Main. Sandoval, I thought he'd bang it out. Same with Jean Mota, went to Houston Dynamo, and we captained Villalaba, who's just capable of some 90 pluses he showed recently. 81, 100, 90, 91. You can kind of see why I captained them. With an amazing fixture, by the way. This was supposed to, on paper, this fixture was great. Top of the Argentinian League versus bottom of the Argentinian League. Big hitting team right here. It's the under 23 rares. This used to be my most prioritized team when Schlotterbeck wasn't injured, and the Napoli duo were just on fire. They've kind of fell off a little bit. The Napoli boys, you know, that's a bit critical. But in terms of their so rare scores, you know, just Kavica's gone 6 games without a goal, maybe even 7 now. So yeah, it's not even that critical saying they fell off in terms of so rare scores. But obviously doing amazing things. I see my Cap 240 rare Heerenveen stack. Milan, what have you done to us, mate? This team was banging. Goretzka got in there. Georgi Mamardashvili with the clean sheet. Really want to see Valencia start doing better. Not even so rare related. I just really have a soft spot for Valencia. I went there in 2007 with my mother when I was 10 years old. Got a jersey, David Villa on the back, saw a couple of games. So yeah, soft spot for Valencia. They shouldn't be relegated. They shouldn't be in the 2nd Division Spain. That's pretty fucked up. But Sidney Van Hooijdonk, got to show you this guy's form. Van Hooijdoiji, as I like to call him for some reason. Oh yes, and he was rotated out of the team, and I was like, oh no. I bought him around about here after the 2-1 win against Camber, where I'm like, okay, under 23, shows some capability to score some goals. I wanted the top end of my Heerenveen stack anyway. And then this happened. He gets rotated out. I'm like, oh no, I got a bench warming forward now. And then he comes back into the team, just can't score. But look at this now. 10 goals in his last 6 starts and 1 off the bench, so 7 games. Very nice stuff. And yeah, $50 as we hit that 250 point threshold in Cap 240. Rare division, nearly got a tier 5, even a tier 4 out of this. No, tier 5 we'll call it. Bundesliga Pro Limited. These Pro Limited teams are pretty tricky when you're not prioritizing them. And I put in little $10s and $20 and $30 reinforcements here and there to these Pro Limited sides. But still, what I really should have done was about 2 months ago just put $100 into each Pro Limited to really compete, because there's a lot of just hopeless lineups getting put out in the 270 Limited. I'm not sure I've even yielded one reward from the 270 Limiteds. I think we've yielded one from the 270 Limiteds and one from the free-to-play amateurs. My Champion Asia rare hybrid between the Sanfrecce Hiroshima defensive stack, the Nagoya Grampus offensive stack. Sasaki hitting some low scores, not like him. He's still going to be captain next week though, because Sasaki's just an absolute beast. But no rewards. Didn't really deserve one of those performances. A lot of hype. I was just watching Nepenthes' stream. A lot of hype around Langerak because he's on form. So don't believe in the hype too much with Langerak, in my opinion. I've had the guy for a couple of seasons. Yeah, the Nagoya Grampus were on a good run of form there. I don't think it's a good time to buy him at peak, but I don't know. It's hard to say anyone's at peak while the European season is still going, because as we all know, as most of us know, when the European seasons end, all eyes will be on Asia and American regions. So probably not the worst buy, but I think he's peaking in terms of scores, not in terms of price. Champion Asia Rare Pro, some super rare reinforcements. Bought Go Young Jun for, was it 300 or 500 quid? His super rare. Love seeing him bang in 2 goals. The guy who sold them to me is probably not liking that, but yeah, just want to be more competitive with my Champion Asia Rare Pro. I remember looking back to my first ever star rare. I believe I won a Kosi Tani from some scuffed Asia Rare Pro lineup that I just got really lucky with. And yeah, and since that Kosi Tani star rare that I won from Rare Pro Asia, I never came close to a reward, and I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm usually putting in 2 to 3 decent rare cards in my Rare Pro, but I didn't have the super rares. So bringing in Harrison Delbridge for Incheon, and Go Young Jun, also an under 23 with a good future. Hopefully he just stays in Korea. But yeah, nothing this week, but watch the space, Champion Asia Rare Pro. We're coming for you. The podium poachers are coming. Champion Asia Limited, 30 points off. No joy. Nice to see Cho Young-un rotated back into the Daeju starting 11 as first choice. And also the clean sheet, just to, although the Korean guys never have to make any saves, do they? He made 3. He made 1 from inside the box. Sorry, I'm shuffling my chips here like a right degen. I also have Cho Young-un's rare card as well, so like, yeah, really happy to see him rotated back in. Here's a glimpse at the St. Etienne stack, kind of middle of the park, 2 centre back. Oh no, actually Nkunku is playing out left. But yeah, the Etienne stack, I really like the stack, but I just don't think we've had the stars align so far. Glatzel just doing nothing when his team scores 4 goals on the pitch for every minute. Come on, dude. Tier 1 super rare reward that we won a couple of months back. I do like him a lot, especially with my Luke Dompa super rare I can use him with. Lucas Zidane's rare card. Yeah, not nice to see this bad score against Zaragoza, but I guess my expectations are just so high. Second division Spain, Lucas Zidane with his clean sheet run. Under 23 limited. I've had Batiale and Mandela Keita for as long as I can remember. And both under 23 Antwerp players, I noticed they were both playing consistently, scoring well in terms of AA. And I'm like, oh, we got something here with the Antwerp stack. Let me look for another player that will fit in nicely. So I went ahead and bought Pacho, also under 23. So we have a nice under 23 Antwerp stack brewing. Um, although we have lost a few quid on his purchase, but when you're buying European players at this stage of the season or over the last few weeks, their price is only going in one direction until about like what, late July, something like that. So yeah, 41 points off under 23 limited. Premier League Pro, the Spurs lads, some recent reinforcements to my Premiership Limited side. Losing 6-1 to Newcastle, what a mad game. Also picked up Andy Robertson recently. I'm liking him. He's only got a 48 L15. We brought in Ramsdale into our free-to-play draft, and yeah, he's on a bit of bad form, but I love to see it because I kind of low-key hate Arsenal. Champion Europe rare. I'm just getting reminded that Courtois is got benched for this Girona game tonight, which kills me. But yeah, Joselu not scoring was the difference between a tier 5 and absolutely squadouche. Party, a bit of a letdown. Like, I always have high hopes for Party because he's great with the AA and he can get decisives, especially in matchups like this at home to Southampton. But yeah, my expectations are high quite often with him and usually get let down. Valverde as well. How long did he play? He played the full 90 minutes at home to Celta Vigo. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't always mean they're going to get 70, 80 points. There's a lot of variables in this game. In the game of football, I mean. Cap 270 rare, we had Kosi Tani, what seemed like a great fixture on paper, 46 L15. Adama Traore hitting some nice form for Hull City. I also remember recently looking, I was comparing Adama Traore to Josh Cullen as I was deciding over a midfielder spot for my second division Europe rare team. And yeah, historically can just hit some high peaks, 100, 100, 95, 80, 82. And then recently doing bits for Hull, like decisives with 27 and 19 AAs. Quite a cool dude, quite a cool customer. I remember getting suggested to buy this guy ages ago when he was just linked with Hull. And it took him ages to actually play, maybe some injury problems. But he's quite cheap at the moment, I'll have you know. Quite cheap. Someone for next season, maybe. Maybe even I'll take a look at a super rare if anyone wants to get rid of him. But yeah, sadly no reward in Cap 270 rare. Quite a prioritized team. Patiukowski's a beast, but they concede 2 goals. So without the clean sheet boost and with the -8 for the goals, he still gets a 30 AA. Kamil Patiukowski, what a player. Cody Gakpo, I actually bought him when, recently, because I saw him listed at 0.24 or something like that. Just remembering when he's 1.6 ETH, I'm like, well, now's my chance to get a Cody Gakpo. He might leave Liverpool in a season or two. That's the beauty of so rare. Although, Nepentez hanging out in the stream, he made some good points about not looking long term. But for me, I want players that I know I can just rely on. I'm not buying anyone anymore specifically for the future, but I like buying players I can use for the present that are just also just gonna give me good consistent utility over seasons to come. I really do believe in that. Challenger Europe rare, 32 points off reward. It's a lot of bricking rewards in this game when you have a lot of mid-quality teams. Some reinforcements have got to be made. I think it's time to reassess. But quite unlucky with a lot of players' scores. I mean, this matchup on paper is great for Uribe. All the Union boys bricked it for me. This is a really low score for Misic. Yeah, Boutez with the clean sheet. Faye Selemani with the decisive. And the 15 AA. Love my man Selemani. Getting to some bigger scores now in some very tricky divisions and some very tricky leagues. MLS Pro Limited. Nice to see Sergio Santos back in the mix. Very low L15 right now and for another few weeks. But no joy here. Champion Europe Limited. One of my best teams. Sorare with a good clean sheet probability. Vinny, Militao. This was my best champion. This was my best limited team, sorry. Grifo at home to Schalke as well. Look, no decisives. Really sad to see. And also, Agbadu one of my favorite defenders in the game, conceding 2 goals, still getting the 20 AA. That was just a bit of a shock result, really, or a bit of an upset, you know. So big upsets from Sorare's score, Agbadou, and Grifo. Even though Agbadou and Grifo hit all right scores, no decisives and a 4-0 victory at home, and like conceding 2 goals here, yeah. Sorare conceding 3. Sad not to get a nice Champion Europe reinforcement. But anyway, I'll be cheered up soon when I open these rewards. French League Pro, 30 points off a reward. Munetzi, the weak link in this team. And yeah, sad to see, you know. I brought in this keeper just to kind of use him with Agbadou for the Rams defensive stack. He's like got a 62 L15. He's really expensive, and he makes these cap mode. Like, this is a 270 cap team. And he made it really hard to line up a strong team. So another area I do need to reassess for sure. Serie A Pro Limited, some Lazio boys. Isaac Success, yeah, just not ever really within a decent chance to win a reward, but in the end, 13 points off. So I guess if the Lazio boys, yeah, it's all in these Lazio boys. Look at this 1-0 defeat at home to Torino. I was watching the highlights of that game as well. So yeah, actually the Lazio boys, I wasn't expecting anything from this, and the Lazio boys completely let me down for a reward there. Could have got a tier 3 limited if they just had a reasonable performance. More Sorare letting me down. Brutal. I'm only seeing these now, by the way. 8 points off a tier 5 without those 3 goals conceded. Baumann letting me down here. Come on. We had a Jork against Bayern. We had the Union defensive stack. Frankowski with a 3-0 victory at home to Monaco. Couldn't get on the end of it decisive. That's all right. Tier 4 limited. Finally, a reward. Challenger Europe limited. Joseph Panstill is a recent card we got. Someone offered us him in a swap deal. Normally, I'm sick of looking at shitty swap deals, but somebody gave us a decent swap deal for one of our rare cards, and we're like, all right, we can use some limited reinforcements. So yeah, he's already yielded me a tier 4 card. I really don't think I would have won it without him, because I was short on the Challenger forwards, especially when after my pink limited card went to the Chinese Super League. His name is Pink for those who don't know. Champion America, even in the limited division, I'm doing bits in the Champion America region. Tier 2 limited, rightly so. Gonzalo Perez captained here with a 96. Chicarito banging in a goal at home to Austin. Yeah, nice team. Sandoval lined up in 2 of my limited sides, as you saw previously. And yeah, just underperforming. I mean, can you call that an underperformance, 22 AA? That's about what's expected of him with his 57 AA. All-Star Rare. Now we're getting to some proper teams. Tier 3 Rare coming in. Really excited to see what that's going to be. Could be from anywhere, as it's All-Star Rare, Global League. Barini with the 2 goals and captain. So, yeah, only Fabio to thank. I know, I can thank everyone except for Elber here. Letting me down a little bit, but a tricky enough fixture, right? Away to Vessel. 8th place. Wow, I was expected to be podium at one point, but the way things have fallen, we have now a tier 2 rare coming in for our 8th place finish. Diego Rubio, Pablo Ruiz, Hector Herrera, Brooks Lennon with an assist. Franco Armani, a recent reward. Both Brooks Lennon and Armani were rewards over the last 6 weeks, which really filled out a nice American side. Bought Hector Herrera as soon as he was linked to Houston. Another one of those guys. As soon as I get some transfer news of a player kind of downgrading league like Hector Herrera, and by the way, it took a while. Like I bought him before he even got a sniff of a game in the MLS, and it did take a while. He didn't play. What was happening at the start of the career? He's playing for Atletico here. Comes in off the bench. He hits a nice AA against Minnesota. 6-0 loss here. Okay, he shows some potential here. Nice 72. Doesn't play for ages. Coming off the bench. Couple of shitty scores, right? Oh, this is the World Cup now. But yeah, like the last season was a flop for me. I bought like 2 copies of Hector Herrera. Got rid of one of them. And yeah, it was a bit of a flop for the first season, but look what's happened this season. Houston Dynamo, right from the Cincinnati game away, banging out a 93. Hector Herrera, take a bow, son, take a bow. Under 23 Rare Pro, this is a great development because we had just about a tier 3. We were about 10 points away from no reward, and we got knocked out of the reward zone. But thanks to these updates, I think, for some AA scores in the Asian players, we first, when Baekjun Boom got an AA boost of like 9.6, it got us a tier 3 by like 1 point. And I was like, oh shit, I've got a fucking tier 3 rare coming in, just about. But then another little bump to this score, I believe, or whatever happened with Opta, we're now looking at a tier 2 under 23 rare. For those who sat through all of that, I appreciate you. Hopefully you picked up a bit of knowledge. And for those who skipped forward, welcome. Here are the rewards. Dying to open them after all of that, to be honest. Would appreciate a thumbs up down there. As you know, it helps out the content a bunch. And if you want to see some more YouTube content, well, subscribe. The So Coins. Farming the coins. Come to Papa. And we'll spend you on the club shop. Maybe a 6th training team. Who knows? How many coins is it then? 7K, right? Not bad at all. Cap 240 limited. 0.0027 ETH. $5. Cap 240 rare. $50. Very nice. Tier 2 limited. We'll open a tier 4 limited first, of course, from Challenger. From the Challenger region. Joseph Panstill to thank for this, really. So let's see. I feel like Joseph Panstill has won me this reward. He's a Polish midfielder. Is it Frankowski? No. Turkish League. I always think this is one of those MLS teams for a second, and then it ends up being Turkey, right? Or am I losing my mind? Anyway, let's see. Skizzy is gonna have a fit trying to pronounce that name. Too many tabs open. Yeah, Istanbul. Man, we have a few of these fellas now. He is a midfielder. Nice low L15 with some recent scores. Is that some AA you've been putting in, boss man? Couple of decisives. How much is he worth? $2? Yeah. Don't really sell anyone worth less than $2 because I just like the collector side of the game also. So, you know, one for the scrapbook, one for some cap modes here and there. Anyway, Champion America Limited. Excited about this tier 2. Let me just think of I'd love an MLS keeper would be really great. There is some keepers in tier 2 rankings now, so let's see. I'd take any position, to be honest. It's an Argentinian league, maybe, or yeah, it is Boca. It's Varela. Okay, I have Varela's rare, so I know about him, so I know how to use him. He did bang out a recent 93 with a goal and a big AA in a very favorable fixture, though. Hints of rotations out of the team over the last, this season, but I think he's just back, especially after that big game recently. Averaging about, we'll take a look, shall we? He's averaging like a 53 L15 or something like that. But I'll definitely take him. I'll definitely take him for some under 23 action over the summer. Alan Varela. Yeah, 53 L15. Nice L5 because of that big 93 he put up. It was a 98 in the end. Very nice. But yeah, a lot of these, this is what to expect from the guy. A lot of these scores around 50. That's why I'm a bit like meh. But yeah, maybe a great one for cap modes as well over the summer. Now, the rares, the big boy cards, the mid stakes. They're all tier 2s. That's interesting. I can't tell which I want to open last because they're all very exciting. Go on. This was in 8th place. Champion America Rare. MLS. Oh no. Oh, wow. Okay. Stefan Frey. He's 36, man. What's been happening a lot? I keep getting MLS keepers this year. I won under 23 goalkeeper Surlios, right? He's going to get rotated back out of the team. I still need to sell him. I got some Vancouver Whitecaps under 23 keeper who was like, before the season started, who was just like a phony basically, just going to be a bench warmer, but he played a few games the last season. 37 now. I mean, that's all right. I'll take it. I'll take it. I also won Brad Stuver rare this year as well. So, like, a lot of MLS keepers. And this is the 4th MLS keeper I've won already this season. And it's the first actual... Well, Brad Stuver was also quite reliable, but then he got injured. But I'll honestly take this guy over some under 23 guy who's going to be on the bench in 2 weeks. Because there's a lot of them in the MLS. Nep just actually won another one. When I was hanging out in a stream. He won some under 23 keeper that he just has already sold. Just looking at the AAs, nothing crazy. A lot of clean sheets there, though. So, looks like his defenders are doing bits for him. Hopefully he just plays the season out. We can get some good utility out of him. But yeah, I like that. Especially if they bring in an MLS rare mode of sorts. But yeah, the keepers are coming thick and thin this year. We also won Franco Armani for River Plate. Oh, sorry, this is a Tier 3. Tier 3 All-Star Rare. English. Mid-English. Burnley. I was wondering, so it's not the Premiership. Well, we have Josh Cullen. We have Ashley Barnes. So I will welcome in Mr. Brownhill. Ashley Barnes is now on the bench. Should have sold him while I had the chance. Speaking of players on the bench. Uh-oh. No, we're good, we're good. What was this 32-minute game, though? He's injured again? Oh, this is live. I see. Well, maybe I'll catch the end of this Burnley-Blackburn game to see how our new player's looking. Nice L40, though. Man, like, out of all of these stats, you want the L40 is the most important to me personally anyway. Bigger samples and all of that. I come from the poker background, where sample is everything. Huge player, man. Huge. Really fucking happy with that. Although they're getting promoted, right? Mixed emotions now. But hey, that's nice because I have Josh Cullen. Now I have Josh Brownhill, so quite cool. It's always nice to get players from teams you already own. Right. Last but not least, in fact, the most hype card of all that I just wasn't even expecting to win, as I just showed you with that under 23 rare pro team that Opta was knocking in and out like a seesaw. Okay, my under 23 team, I really don't want a defender because I've like 3 or 4 or 5 maybe decent under 23 cards, maybe 3 or 4, and they're all defenders like Malik Tia, Hiroki Ito, and by decent I mean really like mid-range. So please, no defenders. Sorry to be greedy, but no defenders. Turkish, okay. Ferdi Kadioglu. I actually won this guy. Wow, maybe he's doing good recently. I won this guy before and then ended up selling him. He plays a left back, right? Interesting. Interesting. The reason I was talking about super rare cards is I'm thinking about my under 23 rare pro lineup, which never needs a defender, right? So that's why I'm just, if I was confusing anyone there. Oh, these Turkish guys with their names and all the stuff on their letters. How is an English keyboard supposed to type that in? What sort of tier 2 is this? What happened, mate? What the fuck is this? Like I guess because of these scores here. What the hell? Yeah. We got out of dodge with him there, but we actually sold him right before he spiked here because of that really sick run of games. Yeah, we actually won him around here, I believe. So we sold him just after the World Cup break, which was here. Comes back, boom, boom. He has this really great run. But recently, just not the business, is it? He plays for Turkey, which is nice, but I've been through all of this with this guy. His price isn't bad for it being the end of the season and how the market's gone. But anyway, we'll take it. Gonna do some lineup building for next video. And before I leave you, we'll take a quick look at how the midweek's going for me. Forget that tier 5. This is a throwaway team. We had Tati Castellanos in a throwaway team. That's what that tier 5 is. His super rare. Well, thankfully, we had his limited in a somewhat prioritized. No, it's not even a prioritized. That's actually one of my last limited teams I lined out. But it's not going good. We have a lot of Madrid players everywhere, as you'll see. And that match has ended. Hopefully, Rodrigo got that goal, or Valverde. We're going to see in a moment. The Everton boys party away to City. All-star rare, not expecting much, especially after Modric kind of giving me a flat score. All-star rare pro yet to come. One of my most prioritized teams. We don't have a lot going on for midweek. Well, we do relative to like other managers, but midweek doesn't have many fixtures, so nice to see Forest striker Owani coming back into the side. Cap 220 rare has another. Oh no, you're kidding me. Marino's on the bench. No, that's not what you like to see, fellas. Mikel Merino on the bench away to Betis. That's not good. We're still even. He's two things are very likely: us winning a reward from Cap 220 rare this midweek, and Marino coming off the bench against Betis anyway. But I wanted to win Cap 220 rare because I feel like my galleries is really suited for these cap modes, and I feel like I'm good at piecing the puzzle for the cap modes. So I feel like one of the favorites for Cap 220 rare, especially with some favorable kind of midweek fixtures recently as well. Been just doing bits with Cap 220 rare, but let's see. Maybe Marino comes off the bench, hits us with a nice like. I can't really do much in terms of AA. Maybe he gets on the end of a decisive. Cap 240 limited yet to come. Mark Roca here. Really, mate? Thought this matchup was alright. It's still the first half. We're okay. Cap 240 super rare is a 4-man lineup. No super rare keeper for the midweek. Hoping for a miracle. Some decent cards here. The Vallecano boys are playing Barca though. A miracle to get to 250 points, which would be $200. But you never know. Militao killing my Cap 270 limited team. It's alright. Maybe Lerma's going to kill the team anyway as well. Robertson. Yeah, Militao. We're the worst captain picker in the world. And the misery in Thibaut Courtois not playing against Girona. And you can't say, oh, well, they conceded 4 goals anyway. They probably would have conceded nada if the 6'5", 6'6" Belgian was in goals. Josh Cullen, maybe one of his last games there as a lone wolf after we got Josh Brownhill from our rewards just now. Hopefully you can do something there, pal. I see Coutinho. I wanted to look at this. Coutinho's just back into the team, right? I mean, it's the end of the season. But I like buying players who are just breaking back into his side, right? That's how I sniped Georgi Mamardashvili. Under 23 keeper for Valencia. Silasson was playing for Valencia at the time. Silasson gets a bad injury. I'm like, oh, who's this guy? Oh, okay, under 23, Georgian. Okay, he's kind of expensive, but he's under 23. He was very young, Mamardashvili, when I got him, like 20 or 21. And I'm like, well, worst case scenario, Silasson will be out for another couple of months. I can sell Georgi Mamardashvili in like 4 weeks. But what happened was Mamardashvili did so well during that Silasson injury that when Silasson came back, Mamardashvili had the first team spot locked. But yeah, really nice getting players breaking into teams. But yeah, not much else going on here. Premier League free to play, just thrown together. Vinny doing bits for my under 23 limited. Okay, and Pedri's back. Okay. That's nice. That's nice. Hopefully we can get some decent card for our under 23s, especially if it's in the American region. That'd be nice. Oh, and it wasn't Valverde or Rodrigo. Who was it? It was Lucas Vasquez, which is like double whammy bad because we don't want any other Madrid forwards doing well. We have enough rotation problems with our Rodrigo and our Valverde. Yeah, by the way, play sharper, great tool and all, but me and everyone else were like, why do you have Asensio at 30% to play? But I don't know. Rodrigo got taken off 79th minute. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. We spent a full ETH on him right at the World Cup break after I saw him just... It was just how he was dribbling. He's one of the best dribblers of a ball in the whole world, I believe. He's just like an absolute speed dribbler. The ball just sticks to his foot. And I'm no football expert or anything, but I saw that when he was playing for Brazil at the World Cup, and I'm like, well, maybe this... Wow, 4 goals for Tati, by the way. But yeah, hopefully Rodrigo comes really good, man. Splashed out at him. And he crashed out. Well, he's listed at 0.55, but he was going for like a quarter of what we paid. Go on, let's face the music. Put it into euros. We spent 1,200 on him, and recently last sale was just under 500. Not the worst. I mean, he's got a lot of under 23 utility. But yeah, I mean, not a bad haul. We have an active MLS keeper. We have an under 23 America's midfielder for limited over the summer. $2 dud here. Brownhill linking up with our Josh Cullen. I really do appreciate y'all. I'll see you in the next video. Good luck on a midweek. And yeah, we'll be chatting again soon for some lineup building for another big weekend coming up. Talk to you soon.